If you'd like to be a teacher, it's as simple as the ABCs. We'll teach you what it's all about. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Myrtle Beach Train Depot. We're focused on the shortage of teachers in South Carolina and a new option to help recruit more teachers. And we're visiting with the president of the American Board for Certification of Teacher Excellence, Dave Saba. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate you being out here.
Great opportunity, of course, for you who were in the Palmetto State just last week, and obviously here even still. But some great things happening last Tuesday, last Thursday, I believe, and even last Saturday.
Yes, we held our first kind of introduction to the program and to help recruit more teachers throughout the state. And we had over 150 people come out that were interested in becoming teachers for South Carolina.
Is that right? More than 150?
Yes.
That is tremendous. That is tremendous.
Yes, and so it's one of our more successful launches, too. I mean, we've had incredible interest. We've run ads. We've done some initial promotions and really found that there are a lot of people out there that want to learn about teaching and want to get into teaching. And although we had only 150 people come out, we had over 1,000 people inquire about the program already, and we've only been here for about a month.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Only a month?
Yes.
So y'all are moving fast.
We are, and it just shows that there are a lot of people out there that want to give back to the community, and one of the great ways to give back is to use your knowledge and help others get that knowledge and become better students.
That's wonderful. Of course, the real focus is K through 12.
It actually, for our program, is in the high schools. So
okay.
we have a K through 12 program. South Carolina, when we worked with the South Carolina government, the legislature, and the South Carolina Department of Education, what we came up with is a customized program for South Carolina, and it just involves the really high needs areas in the math, science, English that are in high school.
Right. I saw the 6 principal focus, and the name of the program is?
It is the Passport to Teaching program through the American Board for Certification of Teacher Excellence.
Okay, the Passport for Teaching.
Yes, and really the program's designed to help career changers move into teaching. So the average age going through our program is 40.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Right.
And over 40% of our teachers that we're certifying are male. So it really was designed when we looked ahead and we saw that there's this huge teacher shortage coming in the United States, that there needed to be not just more programs available, but programs that targeted certain parts of the population that really had that expertise and may now be ready to use that expertise to teach. Mm-hmm. And that's the way the program was designed. And it's designed to really attract people like that because it's a very customized curriculum that we offer that can really help those people not just prepare to teach, but really be successful in their years of teaching.
Mm-hmm. Are you finding that men around the age of 40 are thinking about teaching on a regular basis as an option?
There are, and like I said, the average age is 40. So we're getting a lot of people that, at the end of their corporate career or the end of their engineering career are looking and saying, well, now I want to do something different. And mm-hmm. The way things are now, you don't retire at 60 or 55 right. anymore. You've still got a lot more years left. And so why not give back and why not use that knowledge to benefit our students? So a lot of them do that. And then we also get a lot of military people. And military people, good. If you retire at 20, you're probably still just 45 years old. Mm-hmm. And so we get a lot of military men that are coming out that's saying, okay, I've got this great leadership, I've got a great command presence, I know how to present, I have a great expertise. Let me do that in the school and let me help some kids.
That's tremendous, Dave.
Yeah.
That's tremendous. Real quick about yourself. Are you originally from the area? No,
I grew up in Northern Virginia, but when I got out of the military, I was in the Navy for 9 years. Mm-hmm. My first job was with Michelin Tire Corporation over in Lexington, South Carolina.
Is that right? So you were in the Midlands for a few years?
For 3 years, and my second daughter was born in Columbia as well. So
is that right?
When we were looking at states as to target, you kind of go for states that you know, and I knew mm-hmm. a little bit about South Carolina. And as we started to research the teacher shortages that were there, we decided, this is a state that needs some assistance in that area. And then when we came down and met with Dr. Rex and we met with Speaker Harrell, the legislature, we really found out not only is there a shortage, but there's a willingness to take action. And a lot of states don't do that. A lot of states don't have the ability and the force to take action for a problem like this. Mm-hmm. South Carolina does.
You're still working with all states. Every other state around the country? I mean, there's a need, clearly this need must be not just a need in the Palmetto State, but clearly a need around the country.
Oh yeah, it's right now, and the reason for that need, if you look at it, in 1972, 25% of the degrees earned in this country were in education. And because there weren't that many careers available, and really there weren't that many careers available to women, 25% of the people went into education. Today that number's down to 14%.
No.
So you've got two problems. All of these people that went into teaching in 1972 are now retiring in record numbers. And then you don't have as many people going into teaching. And so there has to be a solution that involves getting more and different groups of people into teaching, because kids today are not going into it out of college. So that's when the U.S. Department of Education looked ahead and said, geez, this is getting worse and worse. They're the ones that funded us. So we are a nonprofit funded solely initially by a grant from the U.S. Department of Education, just to help states recruit and certify more teachers, and that's why the program is so cost effective. It doesn't cost anything to the state, doesn't cost anything to the district, and the person going through the program only has to pay a fee of $650.
Is that right? Doesn't cost anything to the state, nothing to the district, a small fee there for the person going through the program.
Correct.
That is tremendous, and that's because of the support from the Department of Education.
Yes.
Right, right.
So they're basically subsidizing everything, and so right now...
How could anyone say no? How could any state say no, Dave? I'm not kidding it.
And you know, people sometimes give South Carolina a bad rap, but I lived here and I knew people who had fairly progressive thinking, actually. And there are a lot of people that just say, well, no, we're comfortable only with the current route that we have, and the current route is definitely needed. But you've got a problem this big, and they're supplying this much.
Share with viewers a little bit of the current route in most states, or even is the current route even still in effect here in South Carolina? They're looking for the opportunity to be with you all in this passport program, but what about the current route?
Well, current route involves either getting your normal teaching degree, or if you've already got a degree in something else, maybe going back and getting a master's degree in education. And we certainly encourage people to go that route. And then South Carolina also has a great route called the PACE program, which is another alternative route, but a little bit more structured, and there's more class time for that. And then our route is really just an independent study route. It's you do it at nights, on weekends, it's online, it's a customized curriculum based upon your needs and your knowledge. So those are kind of the routes, but a lot of people are only comfortable because we've only done it this way, that's the only way to get people. But like I said, that way used to cover all of our teaching needs. Now it's down to here, and yet you've still got a growing population that needs more teachers. And right now, I mean, last school year, South Carolina started the school year short 600 people. 600 teaching positions were still vacant that had to be filled with long-term substitutes. They've started to recruit people from overseas. And yet when we look at the state itself, there are a lot of people that want to go into teaching.
I bet.
They just need, and obviously last week certainly bears that up, that there are a lot of people in South Carolina that are very interested in teaching.
If a viewer needs to get off to work now or get family out of the house, what's the best way to get in touch with you to learn more about the program? Do you all have a website? Is there a good phone number, or even a website? What's the preferred way?
The best way is to go to the website, which is abcte.org. So it's our initials, American Board for Certification of Teacher Excellence.org, O-R-G. And if they go there, there's a ton of information on how to get into the program, how to really learn about what's going on, and also look at what's involved in South Carolina. Like I said, we customize this program for each state, so there's a few more things that are involved with South Carolina that South Carolina already had in place that we wanted to make sure that our teachers got as well. So, but abcte.org is definitely the place to go to start. And we do have people there, the phone number's there, if they want to then call us. And I know that's a struggle in many states, is really, how do I become a teacher? And finding that information, people have a hard time really getting through and seeing what that is. They can call, and we've got people that can help answer their questions at any time.
And the website's real simple, so it helps guide to just that. How do I get started?
Yes. Definitely. And also, there are web seminars, so they can attend a South Carolina web seminar. They can go online, sit at home on their computer, click on it and say, okay, next Wednesday or whenever it's scheduled, they're scheduled periodically throughout the year. They can then watch a very specific web seminar based on South Carolina and what they'll have to do in South Carolina.
That is tremendous, Dave. Again, I just can't imagine why folks wouldn't think about this. If it's covered that way, if there's no cost to the state, really no cost to the district, and of course, course, a small fee there to the folks who want to attend, which is entirely up to their own.
Yeah.
How could, do you have the wherewithal? Do you all have the ability to potentially expand to 50 states?
We do, but we need to do it slowly.
Well, of course,
yeah,
sure.
We'd like to do, because just like last week, we were able to focus all our resources on recruiting for South Carolina.
Great, yes.
And if we have too many states, and we're a small organization of 40 people, we wouldn't be able to do that. And that's definitely one of the advantages that when South Carolina looked at us and said, let's go ahead and do this now. People sometimes struggle with new programs in education. They want to see more data, and we continue to gather some great data. And the initial data said that 95% of the principals that hired our teachers said they were as good as or better than teachers coming through regular routes. So the data's there. South Carolina said, yeah, let's get in on this now so that we can take advantage and get the full focus of ABCTE to help us. And the goal is, and Dr. Rex has made this clear, and Mark Bounds from the South Carolina Department of Education is, together, all of our vacancies are going to be filled next year. So, and it takes people about anywhere from 4 to 6 to 10 months to complete the program.
Okay, yeah, give us a sense for viewers who may be interested in this, who are excited just hearing about this, and may not have the time right now to go online, but just to get an idea of what the program is going to be like and the different options they can take to complete it. Well,
basically what they're going to do is gather their information, make their decision, decide which program is best, and then they're going to enroll with us and pay the $650 fee, and then they're immediately assigned an advisor, and that's a veteran teacher, and we have a couple here in South Carolina, a veteran teacher who's then going to set up their customized curriculum with them. They're going to look at their knowledge and their experience, and from that decide, okay, here's what you're going to work on, and here's how long it's going to take. And the first phase they're going to work on is their professional teaching knowledge phase. And so they're going to look at, we have Prepare to Teach workshops that cover classroom management, setting up assessments, dealing with parents, a very practical video series and classroom series that they do online to get ready for the teaching. And then they have to take our professional teaching knowledge exam. Then from there, they have to demonstrate a thorough mastery of their subject matter. So, I was an engineer back in my day. I have a very good math expertise, but I don't remember everything to teach calculus, and maybe I'm a little weak on my natural logarithms or quadratic equations. So there's a course then that they can take to refresh all that knowledge, so they really master their subject matter, and then they'll take their subject matter exam. So they have 2 exams. They have to demonstrate that they have a bachelor's degree, and they have to pass a background check. At the end of that time, usually, depending on their knowledge and how ready they are, anywhere from 4 to 10 months. At the end of that time, they'll take their exams, they're ready to go, they're certified by us, and that allows them to go apply for a job in South Carolina. And then once they get there, they get an initial license, and they have 3 years to make sure that they go through their principal evaluations. They have to take a praxis pedagogy test in that 3 years, and then they can get their full certification as just like every other teacher in South Carolina.
That is tremendous. Yeah. That is tremendous. And you were finding that potentially as many as 40% of the folks setting up are men.
Yes.
That are getting involved in the program.
Yes, and we also tend to attract more minorities, too. If you look at, when we decided and we were set up to focus on shortage areas, there's severe shortages in math and science, in high school in general, but there's also shortages of men. There aren't enough men teachers in there, and you think about role models and that type for students, that we do need more male teachers as well. And then there's not enough minority teachers. If you look at the number or percentage of minority students versus minority teachers, there's a severe disconnect there as well.
I saw those figures, 40% minority students and only 10% teachers.
Right, and we have about 20% now minority teachers going through our program. So we specifically focus on that area as well. So when we view shortages, we view all of the shortages and say, okay, we want to help impact all of these different areas so that we can help strengthen South Carolina schools.